All right, so these heat shields was what was holding us up while we were under there before. If you look, there's like these little brackets that actually hold this in place. So they are kind of connected here and bent up. So the reason that we couldn't separate the exhaust from it is because you have these bolts coming in from the front ones, and then you have like a bar that actually goes to the muffler deletes as well. So when it was in the car, the trunk panel goes beyond this, and this is a bolt that goes all the way in. So there would have been no way to get it out. So what we could have done is dropped it down, take these bolts off and left it up there. But just with the amount of weight and stuff, it wasn't worth it. So we're gonna remove these now. We'll do that for ease of install. So when we go to put it back up, we're not messing around with these. So I'm just gonna take a 13 mil and pop these off and just put them to the side for now. And we're just gonna remember to put them back in before we put this muffler in. Also, if you look right at the resonators right there, they are definitely covered in a lot of diff juice. So we're gonna clean those up just so, you know, shows that we did what we did very clean and thoroughly. We're gonna clean up everything, so definitely gonna get that done first. All right, so we're just gonna take these bolts out. Another bolt that's rounded. Yeah, somebody rounded this one out, so I'll probably just have to fix the thread, or actually, I'll go see if I can find a new one. I don't think these are the stock ones. These are really nice. I don't know who makes these, but they're pretty clean, but somebody welded a nut to the end of that, and looks like that's where this bolt goes, so hopefully it's thread on the bolt. Yeah, I don't know if you want to try to get that in frame. Alright, so day 2 now. We did get actually new parts, so all 4 bolts, nuts, and this stud actually comes as a stud from the manufacturer, so you can still get it. So we have a replacement stud, so now the biggest issue that we have is actually removing it. Really cool that the stud is available. Usually they're not, and you have to just replace them with bolts, but in this case we can actually pull one through, but getting it out is going to be hard. So I'm just going to torch the living out of it. I do have an extinguisher here just in case, and then once it's torched, and hopefully we can get it glowing. I don't know if we can, then I'll just start wailing on it with the hammer. I already kind of mushroomed it a little bit, so I'm probably going to have to cut it out regardless, but I just need it to slip out a little bit, so probably just going to be a little bit of torching here for a while. Alright, so I can see a little bit up there, getting a little hot. Get some Windex to spray that on. I got it mostly out. Can't hear a goddamn thing. But now since I have a little bit of thread left, I'm actually gonna cut that mushroom off. So I'm gonna get a cutoff wheel, try to get in there nicely. Probably put this guy out of the way a little bit, because my cutoff wheel doesn't have a safety on it, so sometimes it just runs. All right. This one's being pretty stubborn, but the air hammer definitely did it.
if I can do the rest. And probably not. Alright, I'm gonna put change to a pointed bit on my air chisel. Go. I gotta get an air hammer back. Yeah, that was not an easy one. Holy crap. Alright. Honestly, not as bad as it usually goes too. Started melting my goggles. So, I'm just gonna pull all this off. Clean up any mess I made. So this burnt through a little bit, but it should be alright. Biggest thing I did is I got a chisel or file that down a little bit, so I hammered it in a little bit. Alright. Alright. So, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. I'm going to put this up there. So, this is what the stud looks like. And it's got these like spline bits that actually get jammed up in there. So, that being rusted and kind of seized just from all the temperature over the time is what actually gets it caught up. Alright, so this is the old stud that we removed. So, I don't know if you guys can see all that shininess right there. That's actually where it was pretty much welded to that flange. So if you see these little ribs here, that's supposed to go pretty much the length of it, as you can see in this one here. So those ribs being missing actually is where it was, you know, welded, not physically, but just from rust, age, and differentiation in temperature over the years, which is what makes them so hard to extract, and also which is what causes these to break. The length of the bolt is too long for the amount of torque to actually break this thread free sometimes. and it's easier for the bolt to break than to let the nut loose. So that's what happened with this one. As you can see, we can actually buy the stud. I know I just mentioned that before, but it is really weird. BMW doesn't just like do this for all cars. So that's awesome that we can actually put the new stud in. Should go in pretty easy, you just kind of drag it in. I can even draw it in with the nut when we actually go to put the bolt or the exhaust back on. But yeah, here's where you can see where I was air hammering it after I chopped that mushroom bit off, and you can see here where I was trying to chisel it out as well from the back. So what ended up being the solution in the end was to torch the back, get that side heated up because this side wasn't responding too well to the temperature. It definitely benefited to have the water around just to spray the stuff because I did see some glowing from some steam sealer. It is pretty tight down there, and I did blow a little bit of a hole through one of those aluminum shields. It's kind of unavoidable, so not the biggest deal, but it's a lot better than the next step would have had to have been to drill this, and then it's a pain, and then this might have not have fit unless we drilled it perfectly straight or right, and then it could have just caused a world of issues. So to be able to just kind of get away with it with the majority of things being still completely intact and nothing detrimental happening down there, this is definitely the better solution. So we're gonna go put this in now, and then save this for the owner, let him keep a little memento of it. But otherwise, yeah, let's get this thing in. All right, so we're gonna get that new stud, get it up behind here, being careful because it's still hot. All right, I'm gonna draw it through. You can see right there, it kind of stops because that's where it's gonna start getting that spline. So I think the best way to do this is actually to draw it through with a nut. While we're here, I'm gonna take off this exhaust gasket because these have to be replaced. This one is really crunchy and old. Okay, so yeah, this one's like solid, heavy as hell. New ones are a lot softer. So we just got Victor Rain's one, so I'm gonna put that up into place. Okay, just like that, it's fine for now. All right, I'm gonna grab, I think one of the old, I don't know, this is a tough call. Actually, I'm gonna grab one of the new nuts, and we're gonna draw that in. So I'm just gonna get a nut on here. Let's see if we can get it like a tap behind it. If I can just get it threaded a little bit, that'd be the best way. That might work. Okay, so now it's right up against it. I need to get a longer 12mm. Now we're drawing it in. I'm gonna lubricate that thread just a little bit. I'm gonna back it off for a sec. Alright, so there's actually a liner on these, like an inner thread, and that did come off. So I'm a little hesitant to use that. It's almost fully in, so I might go grab another one. I'll have to get this liner off. It's gonna be hard though. Unless I can get it back on here. Okay. Did just see it move. We need to go with some pliers. there we go. Luckily, I didn't mess with the thread on the stud. Well, just came out from the side. Okay. All right. Still got a little bit more to come in, but let me see if I can get it from the back. I'm not gonna want to come that way. So now I'm gonna use something as a spacer to go up against, but I'm gonna get a different nut of the same pitch. I just ruined this one, and use this as a spacer. Yeah, so that was my fault drawing it in with that nut. Had no impact on the stud, but no, I just need to replace that nut. But I'm gonna still use it as a spacer right now to finish drawing this in. Just switching it to a 13. You see the whole thing shake? That was because it got to the point where it can't turn anymore. So that nut is all the way in, fully replaced. And we're in business. So the only thing now, I just screwed up that my fourth nut. So we're gonna have to go replace that. But for now, there we go. That's how you do it. All right, so now we're just gonna quickly change the other donut before we move on. So just break a hole in it. Comes off. And then grab our new one. And put it on. Just like that. That's all we're gonna do for now. And I'm gonna move back to the rear of the car and we're gonna start focusing on dropping the rear suspension.
Right, so I'm gonna remove this shield right here just so we can see what's going on with the center support bearing while we're here. I haven't really decided yet what I'm gonna do with the differential, or if I'm gonna pull the entire drive shaft or not. Probably won't unless there's something wrong with it, but just disconnect it from the rear. Because it is a constant velocity style, not a U-joint, so it should be able to just stay in place. Oh, and that's it. Looking at this, there's a ton of that butyl tape all over the place, but the drive shaft actually looks good. U-joint right here is nice. Looks like somebody actually did this not too long ago. Looks like it was done. Looking up at shifter, got some play there. Overall looks good. So I'm not gonna make any complaints there. So I think what we're gonna do is focus on the rear end now. I'm gonna keep this off for now. And we're going to remove the two little covers for these brackets here because I just slid them over. That's not really how you're supposed to do it, but I was just underneath the car. I didn't want to go all the way back there. So we'll do that now quick. All right, so there's a little 8mm going to the inner fender liner here. So I'm gonna pop that guy off. It should allow this to be free. Wiggle it out. There we go. That's gonna be one of our diff mounts that we're gonna have to remove. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 around all corners. So I'm gonna come to your corner now, do the same thing. Okay, just like that. And that releases everything there. So I think that's where we're gonna stop for now. I'm gonna go pop the front wheels off. We'll probably just get a quick clip of that. Just so you guys can see that. And we're pretty much actually in really good shape to get this entire subframe out tomorrow. I'm gonna disconnect the drive shaft, get that heat shield out from over it so we can make a clear line of sight to our parking brake cables, just to ease that disassembly. And then we're just gonna chase around any harness connectors that might be connected prior to us removing the rear diff. We're gonna disconnect the rear shocks at the rear dropout and leave them in the car and actually hang our calipers on there so we don't have to mess around with brake fluid just yet, because we're definitely gonna have this rear suspension out for a little bit of time. And yeah, after that, we should be good. So let's wrap it up for now, and then I guess our biggest issue right now is that front stud. Otherwise, we're looking good. All right, so I'm gonna remove this heat shield here for the CV, and I'm actually gonna then, or drive shaft, and then I'm actually gonna remove the drive shaft itself, the CV joint right here, and then the heat shield above the CV joint as well, because I want to make sure I can see those e-brake cables when I'm yanking on them. I'm also considering what my best game plan is for removing the rear suspension, and I could drop the entire thing on the ground and then put it all together and jack it all back up, which might be the way I do it, or I could just remove the control arms and take the entire hub assembly with the brakes and everything off each side, and then just drop the diff with the rear subframe, which might also, it's going to be more annoying work to kind of put it all together, but it is mostly aluminum. And I'm gonna have to separate it all regardless. So in-car might be better. Might just be more tedious, but we'll kind of get there in a minute. I'm gonna get this at least separated, get the e-brake cables out and the drive shaft out, so then everything from the front of the car is disconnected from the rear, and then we can focus on the rear by itself. So that's that plate there. And then I got a couple 10s for the CV. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so actually what I'm going to do is do the CV next. So I'm going to go grab a 16, because we have, I think, 6 nuts here. We're going to remove those, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so I just went inside the car and put it in gear. We're going to go after these bottom 3 nuts first. Alright, I'm gonna go back in the car. I'm gonna have Justin come underneath the car and just spin the drive shafts. The top 3 are now on the bottom. And then I'm gonna go up into it and take it out of gear and put it back in gear. So. Alright, so it's back in gear. Just gonna remove that. This. They're just like just tight enough that you can release them, but just tight enough that it hurts like hell in your hand, this size wrench. And then I'm just that lazy that I'm not gonna grab a bigger wrench. So, kind of perfect combination. Okay, so that's the CV done. And looking at it, should just, actually these are like bolts that kind of come through. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna look at this and kind of figure out how I need to separate this, because I haven't done one of these in a long time. All right, so if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure you just put a screwdriver or something in here and pry it out, which seems to be working. Should be, I think, another one, but shouldn't be up there. All right, so what I need to do is actually go put it out of gear. Justin, I'm gonna need you to twist this just so this goes like up to like here, okay?
Okay.
Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go inside, take it out of gear, twist it down, and then put it back in gear. Yeah, like that. All right, and I'm just gonna pry the other side. Okay. And then we're just gonna kind of walk it back and forth. At this point, it's starting to get more difficult, so definitely is a special tool for this. I'm going to use a pry bar instead, so I can get some angle on it. Okay. All right, just for the sake of balance, I don't know if this is balanced in the diff.
So we're gonna just take a line with a paint marker and put that there. So we know that that's how it came off, that's how we're gonna put it back on. I don't think this is gonna have bearings immediately right here, but it might. I'm just gonna go gentle with it. And I just need to get it to the point I can get the threads all the way out. Which might not be doable unless I remove this center support bearing. So I'm gonna remove the center support bearing quickly. It's 13 mil. I'm just gonna do it on an impact. So this one's got the butyl tape all in the center here. So I'm gonna have to yank on this thing. Not to come out easy. It's coming down with a lot of that butyl tape. So still is just slightly not enough slack on this thing. So just yank it out. So that being said, it looks like we might have to fully remove this drive shaft. I guess let's just do it. So I'm gonna go up to the front of the drive shaft and just mark the flex disc to the shaft again, just to put it back the same way it was taken apart. All right, so it's 21 millimeters. I'm probably going to disconnect the flex disc from the drive shaft. These. Oh, and I'm gonna need a swivel. So, got a swivel. One. Second. That. This will happen. Okay. So I need to wrap this up here. Okay.
On the back of the jack, maybe? Cool.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think I'm gonna be able to hold the nut. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get a good hold on that nut back there. Where is it? Can we put it up here maybe? And then I'll grab it. We can probably get it from back there. That's crazy. Never had one of these that the air gun wouldn't take off. Let me see if I can just go straight onto it, because I'm definitely losing a lot of torque by that swivel. No, that's not enough. Maybe an extension? Extension might be better than a swivel. Just gonna put that like there for a second. As long as I can get this thing to spin free, should be alright. Oh wow. Okay. Do you have that jack handle?
Yes, right behind you actually.
Thing is, it weirdly looks like it's still moving the whole drive. Is it like here? See if I can put a wrench. That's probably my best bet. Like, pull it towards you. Oh, I think we got it. Yeah, we did. Alright, cool. Pray it. Use the gun. Woo! That was crazy. Never had one that bad. Lift the drive shaft up. Oh, I got it. Okay, and then now support the back. Get something behind here. Is that pry bar still by you? Can you hear it? Okay. Oh yeah, so there is bearings in here. We just want to keep this nice and sealed. All right, so let's take this and just bring it out of the car.